Ook, Vayanuk, why did you agree to become his personal secretary? You muttered under your breath while slapping your forehead dramatically. You stared at the pile of documents in front of you, your pen was tapping against the wooden desk. This is madness. He's literally trying me with this much work. You whispered to yourself while glaring at the files as if they were your enemies. Your shoulders slumped as you checked the time on the wall clock again, only 10:15 am, and still you had the whole day left to tackle up with those files. Suddenly, you heard the heavy footsteps coming to your direction. You looked up to see Manager Han, Jungkook's right hand man. His face looked as serious as ever, his tie was perfectly in place, and that same formal tone. Miss Lee Mayan, Mr. Jungkook is calling you in his cabin right now. He called out while adjusting his glasses. What, Mr. Han? You asked, pretending not to hear. He sighed at your dramatics and looking around, he said, Miss Ryan, Mr. Jungkook is calling you in his cabin. You made a sad pouty face while looking up at him. Mr. Han. Yes, Miss Ryan. He asked while glancing at his wristwatch as if you were wasting his precious time. Why don't you see or let me breathe for at least 5 minutes? I mean, seriously, I have not even finished half of these files yet. Manager Han looked at you while slipping his hand into his pen pocket. I'm sorry, Miss Ryan, but unfortunately, I am not the CEO. You know he doesn't like the latecomers. You gritted your teeth, muttering under your breath, This man born to make my life a hell. With low heart, you stood up and fixing your pencil skirt, you grabbed the bundle of files which you had already checked and walked towards his cabin. Reaching his cabin, you let out a big sigh and knocked at the door. No wonder you wanted to bang on it, but you couldn't do that, right? Knock, knock, come in. You heard the deep, husky voice from inside, which made you groan. You slowly opened the door and stepped inside, bowing politely. Mr. Jungkook, you called me. He was sitting at his wooden desk, perfectly dressed in his dark navy suit. His black hair was falling slightly over his forehead, and his sharp eyes were scanning the files in front of him. Yes, Miss Ryan, get me a warm cup of espresso and yeah, the sugar should be minimal, you know my taste. He said while flipping a page without even bothering to look up. You bit your lower lip, forcing a polite smile. Yeah, sure, Mr. Jungkook. And bring some cookies too. You nodded slowly with a fake wide smile, but that smile of yours faded the moment you turned your back. As soon as you stepped out of his office, your face changed completely as you made a clown face while clenching your hands into fists. With that, you went straight to the pantry and started making the espresso. Minimal sugar, he says. Does he even know how hard it is to guess his definition of minimal? You said to yourself, stirring the coffee. Once the coffee was done, you grabbed his favorite cookies and placing them neatly in the tray, you returned to his cabin. You placed the tray carefully on his table and bowed slightly, but all the time your teeth were gritted. Here is your warm espresso and fresh cookies, Mr. Jungkook. You said politely. He finally looked up. His cold eyes were met yours for the first time since you entered. He shut his laptop slowly and picked up the cup. You watched him anxiously as he took the first sip. Your eyes followed every tiny movement of his lips as you were waiting for his reaction, hoping that he would like it. His lips pressed into a thin line. You gulped and slightly leaned forward. How is it, Mr. Jungkook? He set the cup down and looked up at you. Go and get a new one. This one has too much sugar. What? But I. You were speaking out but had to stop mid sentence after seeing his serious face. Okay, fine, I will get new one, Mr. Jungkook. He nodded his head slightly as he opened his laptop. As you turned to leave, you whispered under your breath, I should have just poured salt in it after a while. You came back again after a few minutes with a new cup. You placed it on the table. Please try this one. He picked it up and took another sip. His brows furrowed again. It's bitter. Too bitter, Mr. Jungkook. Do you even know what you want, Jungkook eyebrow twitched as he looked up and gave you a sharp look. You gulped, giving him a wide smile. You marched out, stomping your heels as you returned back with the third cup of coffee. You looked both exhausted and done with life. You placed the cup in front of him but didn't step back. Jungkook was about to grab the cup when you quickly picked up the cup before he could even touch it. Wait! He frowned slightly taken aback. What are you doing, Miss Ryan? Instead of answering, you took the cup near your lips and took a small sip from the cup. Jungkook blinked in a disbelief. What is this? Did you just drink my coffee? You made a happy face and placed the cup in front of him. Try this one, Mr. Jungkook. I'm sure you will like it. It is perfect. What? He pointed at the cup with a frown. Try it, please. It is better than making the coffee again and again. He slightly bowed. Please give it a try, Mr. Jungkook. He looked at you for a moment and then picked up the cup, taking a first sip. You watched him nervously. How is it, Mr. Jungkook? You asked, blinking your eyes. He took one more sip before looking up. Yeah, it is perfect. Oh, thankfully, that's what I was trying to tell you. He lightly smiled. You pointed at the bundle of files and said, Mr. Jungkook, I checked these files. They just needed your signs. He nodded, leaning back in his chair. Fine, you may leave now. You nodded quickly and walked out. As you reached your desk, you plopped on the chair and shut your eyes. Ah, finally, that arrogant, rude, grumpy man liked something. You muttered to yourself and opened the laptop. In the evening, the clock on the office wall ticked quietly in the background 10 p.m. The entire June company building was empty and silent except for the faint sound of your fingers tapping on the keyboard. Your tired eyes were struggling to focus on the numbers on the screen. Stacks of files were still scattered on your desk, unfinished reports. You leaned back in your chair, letting out a long sigh. You rubbed your temples, feeling the tension pulsing through your head. Just as you stretch your arms and try to convince yourself to start working, the sound of Jungkook's cabin door opening echoed down the hallway. You turned your head to see Jungkook stepping out of his cabin. His tie was loosened and his sleeves were rolled up. He was looking tired. He looked around the dimly lit office until his eyes landed on you. He frowned, walking up to you. Miss Ryan, it is too late. You forced a cheeky smile and said with a sarcastic tone, Mr. Jungkook, actually, I'm really hard working, you know. I love working, that's why I'm still working. Oh, really? I like hard working people like me. You chuckled awkwardly. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jungkook. Then, without missing a beat, he said, Fine then, I will send more files to your desk. Your eyes instantly widened hearing that. What? Wait! He smirked and then turning away, he walked back towards his office. You stared at his retreating figure with your mouth open in a disbelief. Did he just reward me with more torture? Oh, Gwen, why did I open my mouth? You muttered to yourself. You sat there for a few minutes, glancing at the files as if they were laughing at your misery. Then, finally, with a sigh, you packed up your bag and left, dragging your tired legs towards the elevator. The next morning, it was 7:30 a.m., and you were standing while opening your wardrobe. The same few blouses and skirts were hung inside and they were looking dull and overused. You sighed deeply. Ah, it's been months since I last went shopping. You held up a light blue blouse. This one? No, I wore it last week. Then a beige one? No, too boring. After a few minutes of staring hopelessly at your clothes, you slumped against the wardrobe door. I think I should take a leave from that grumpy man and go shopping before my clothes resign from duty themselves. With a low sigh, finally you slipped into a red shirt and pencil skirt. Time skipped in the office. You said hello to the marketing director, Mr. Lee, and then barely settled at your desk when Manager Han appeared again holding a bundle of files as they were even more than yesterday. He smiled nervously. Miss Ryan, Mr. Jungkook said these are for the hardworking secretary. You stared at the files and your mouth fell open. He placed them on your desk and left. You looked at the piles of files and grabbed your forehead, muttering, Why this man is testing my patience? But then suddenly an idea popped into your mind. You glanced toward Jungkook's cabin, then at your reflection on your computer screen. I think it is the right time to execute my plan. You stood up and grabbing your bag, you walked to the restroom. Looking at yourself in the mirror, you started your transformation. You ruffled your perfectly styled hair until it looked messy and tangled. You took out your mascara and smudged a bit under your eyes, making them look tired and dark. Then you practiced your sick face and smirked. Taking a deep breath, you grabbed a tissue for extra effect and made your way towards Jungkook's cabin. Reaching the door, you knocked softly. Come in, he said coldly. You stepped inside, slowly walking while holding the tissue dramatically near your nose. What happened, Miss Ryan? You sniffled softly and spoke weakly. Mr. Jungkook, I'm not feeling well. I think I caught a cold. His mouth parted as he just sat down. Oh, Mr. Jungkook, I feel slightly dizzy. I have an appointment with a doctor at 2 p.m. If you could please give me a sick leave today, he said while looking at him with innocent, watery eyes. He leaned back, thinking for a moment. What if I call the doctor here instead? Your eyes widened. What? No, 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 please don't bother, Mr. Jungkook. I will manage. It's not that serious. He watched you suspiciously for a few seconds, his dark eyes narrowed slightly as if he was trying to read your mind. You swallowed nervously, holding your breath. Fine, you can take the leave. You internally squealed but kept a blank, tired face. Thank you, Mr. Jungkook. You said flatly, trying not to sound too happy. He nodded his head. You both. As you walked out of his cabin, your lips slowly curved into a victorious smile. You whispered under your breath, Great, now I can do shopping all day. You were walking around the big shopping mall while carrying a lot of shopping bags in your hands, though there were no place left in your hand to carry some more, but still you were not satisfied. You spent hours moving from one store to another, floral dresses, office skirts, heels, bags, even a few accessories you didn't even need, but still you bought. Finally, you walked out of the last boutique with both hands still full with shopping bags. But before you could finish your sentence, you froze. As soon as you looked up, you saw Jungkook, who was standing right in front of you. Beside him, there was a middle aged man. You knew the person because it was his important client. Your eyes went wide, seeing Jungkook right in front of your eyes. The shopping bag slipped from your trembling hands and fell to the floor with a dull thud. Your heart skipped a beat. Mr. Jungkook, you stammered, your voice was shaking. He blinked once as he was clearly surprised. Miss Ryan, weren't you supposed to be sick? You gulped hard. You stuttered but couldn't form any coherent words. You were afraid that he would fire you, that's why you were more scared. My client needed to buy jewelry for his wife, so I came to assist him. But you seem quite healthy. Your jaw dropped slightly and your words stuck in your throat. Meanwhile, his client smiled awkwardly. Mr. Jungkook, thank you for your help. I'll see you tomorrow at the meeting. Jungkook nodded. As the client walked away, you stood there while clutching your skirt tightly. You could feel Jungkook's eyes on you. Unreadable, calm, but sharp enough. Finally, he sighed and stepped forward without saying anything. He bent slightly and picked up the fallen shopping bags one by one and then straightened up. Follow me. The way he said in his dark voice made you flinch. You gulped and then followed him quietly. Your heels were creaking softly against the marble floor. He walked to the parking lot and stopped near his black car. He opened the passenger seat. Get in, he said flatly. You get slowly and got in the car. He shut the door and throwing your bags in the car boot. He got inside the car and started the engine. As he sat beside you, your hands trembled in your lap. Jungkook let out a low sigh and started the car. You didn't look up at him. You could feel his presence beside you. After a few minutes of driving, he finally spoke. No, tell me, why did you hide it from me? You opened your mouth to speak, but no words came out. Instead, your eyes suddenly filled with tears. Hearing your cry, he frowned and looked at you. Miss Ryan, hey, what is wrong? You pressed your lips together, but a small sob escaped. You turned your face away, wiping your tears quickly, but they kept falling. I'm sorry, Mr. Jungkook. You managed to say between sobbings. He looked genuinely confused now. Sorry for lying? You shook your head. It is not just that, it is just I got tired, Mr. Jungkook. I got so tired with all the extra work every day. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought you would get angry. So I lied to you that I felt sick. Your voice broke as more tears rolled down your cheeks. So I just wanted one day to rest one day for myself. For a long moment, Jungkook said nothing. He just silently listened to you as if he was observing deeply your words. Then, after a long moment, he spoke. Why didn't you tell me before? Because you were always so serious and cold. I was afraid to tell you. That made him pause. He looked at you and something inside him softened. Your sobs became more louder. He hesitated for a moment. His fingers were tapping lightly on the steering wheel. Mayan, you should have told me earlier. I'm sorry, I couldn't notice. I thought you were not tired all the time. Before you could respond his words, he smiled. He patted your back softly. You don't have to handle everything alone. I will now keep it in my mind. Your cheeks had turned red. His heartbeat raced, he blinked shocked. What happened, Miss Ryan? Thank you, Mr. Jungkook, for understanding me. He chuckled, caressing your hair gently. That is fine. Now let me drop you home. You nodded. His ears had turned red when he started the engine. After a week, you were happily working smoothly at your desk. Jungkook had started giving you less work, but every time he passed by, your heart fluttered a little. You didn't even realize when you were developing feelings for him. Closing your laptop, you shyly tucked the loosened strand of your hair behind your ear and walked to his cabin holding a few files. Knocking softly, you stepped in. He was busy typing something on his laptop. Jungkook had been raised as he saw you. You bowed at him with your cheeks red and nervously placing the files on his desk. You turned to leave, but your heart slipped. You both looked into each other's eyes. Suddenly, the door burst open. Both of your eyes widened. It was Manager Han, seeing you both, his eyes widened with his jaw dropped. Ah, I am blind. I saw nothing, he said and rushed out. You gasped. He saw. Don't worry, he won't tell this to anyone, he said, smiling. But Manager Han had spread this news like a wildfire, and neither of you noticed that the glass curtains behind you were open and the entire office was watching.